Yo YouTube land, Shawn here with 618 Bushcraft, and I'd like to welcome you all to a community outdoors. Here we are, episode 2 of season 2, and as you saw from the trailer, today's topic is prolonged survival. Now, if you haven't yet, you have to go check out episode 1 by the other Shawn from A Family Outdoors. He knocked it out of the park. He covered some really good ideas for prolonged survival to help you psychologically around the camp. And I had some ideas like that. Mother Nature kind of got in the way. I wanted to build some sidewalls here for my shelter as a wind block, but I couldn't get to it. But prolonged survival can be taken a lot of different ways. And one thing that I've had in my mind with my limited resources in my wood is for prolonged survival, you need good resources in your woods. So I've had the idea to do it, and I finally stumbled across the trees at work that we're going to plant today. I have mainly hardwoods in these woods, so I picked 2 trees for 2 certain reasons. I think it's a black willow. I have a couple of them, one good size one, then some smaller ones, and they grow fast. And the cool thing about a willow is once it's established, you can take a snipping off of one of the branches, kind of score it a little bit, plant it, and it should take off and grow fast. Willows are super resourceful. They use willow powder in the little root starter things that you get for gardens and whatnot. And then the second, let's backtrack. And willow is really good for, I want to eventually try making a recurve bow. So, you know, once I get a willow that's good, established, maybe in a year or 2, I'll be ready to do that. And then a cottonwood. Cottonwood is good for friction fires. I know you can smoke meats with it, and it spreads. So I plant one, and then next year I'll have ample little, starter trees coming up, and it'll just sustain itself. And then I can go back with the willows and keep spreading them out, and I build resourceful trees that way. And of course, me being me, I forgot, but I was also going to plant some coralberry bushes. Coral berries will attract deer and birds and other wildlife, which then in turn helps sustain meat for you. I have deer and squirrel in this woods, but it never hurts to try to help sustain what's here. Unfortunately, I forgot them, but I'll do that in another video. So, let's go ahead and just get to it, and I'll show you what we need to do in order to do this. The first thing we want to do is find a spot that's open and is going to provide the tree light and room to grow at the top. Now, that's open. For the most part, that is open as well. But this is pretty much woods management. Plenty of woods around here. This is going to be a very, very resourceful tree to have. So, this tree right here, and this one right over here, we're going to go ahead and take those down just to give this tree room to grow, and I will have firewood for the winter. Alright, we've got our hole dug, and we want the depth to be to right where the base of this tree is. This soil line is going to be right where our new soil line is going to be, just about. There's just going to be a little bit of fresh soil on the top. It's all the filling in around it. And it is hot. hot out here today. I am sweating profusely. Found a good enough heart rock. Alright, now we water. After this, I'm going to water myself. I don't think I'm going to plant the one cottonwood. I'll probably really quick just try the method of scoring the side of the small willow saplings and just sticking it in the ground, see if that works. It's a little experiment. I forgot I brought a mulberry, which spreads, and if you can get to it before the birds, has edible berries. So I'm going to water this, water myself, and we will get to my next idea. Alright, got the cottonwood planted, and the next thing that I wanted to do, because it's a really cool idea, quick and easy, you don't have to exert very much energy to do it, which is good when it's as hot as it is today. I've been sweating profusely all day long. But when you find a spot like this in a tree line where there's an opening, where some birds might be traveling down, then they see this and maybe want to pop in, see what's going on, we're going to hang some perches right here in this thick stuff, in the hopes that some birds come in, land, hang out, and while they're hanging out, they relieve themselves, and in turn, hopefully next year, I get some blackberries, maybe mulberries, you know, whatever. It's not a guarantee, but it's quick, easy, low energy, and payoff could be good. Alright guys, it was that simple. No fancy knots, I just made sure the tension was good and just 2 double overhand knots. There, there, and then another one from there to there. So I got with any luck, I'll have me a little blackberry grove right here next spring. Alright guys, figured I'd share the really quick experiment to see if we can get one of these willows to grow super easy. You can see the root ball here. I'm going to step over to this tree so I can cut at an angle, get a good clean cut. And we're going to score the bottom of it with our finger just a little bit, just rough up the outer bark. We're literally just going to stick it into the ground and give it a little water. My goofy self wasn't recording, but all I did was give it a clean, kind of an angled cut at the bottom, scraped with my thumb the outer bark as far up as I was going to stick the tree into the ground. I got the water, or the ground, a little bit wet with water, and just stuck it in. Then gave it a little bit more water for safekeeping. Okay, I'm going to try to go back and pull the clip to put in this video. And if I can't, I will put a link in the time mark for where I show how to do this. But one quick thing that for prolonged is the next day, the next week, the month, and then the next season. So firewood, wintertime, you're going to need a lot of firewood. Makes it a lot easier to process if you have a chopping anvil. Now this one, a little flawed. The tree ended up being hollow. We used it for the one time when I was out with my brother Corey. But you get the gist of it. In a log, you take your saw and you saw lines down about halfway or as deep as you want your chopping block to be, and then you chip it all out with your axe. Alright, so as I just said, a big thing about prolonged survival is thinking ahead to the next season. So after summertime, it's fall, it's going to get cool. And definitely after that is winter. It's going to get cold. So, and like I said, I wanted to make 2 side walls, which would have given me a wind block. I'll get to that, just not today. But the other thing you want to do for winter is you can use any kind of clear plastic, like a trash bag. I'm lucky enough where I work, I get access to some really thick, clear plastic. So what I did is I hung this ridge line, or ridge pole, above the ridge pole for my shelter, and I took some leaves, made the little, I don't know what it's called, I put it at the corners of this plastic, tied it off so I had somewhere to tie off with, tied the two corners to this ridgepole. So that come, and it just went sliding backwards. It's okay though. Come wintertime, I'll be ready to go. I can get a fire going out here, and that plastic in the front is going to give me that like greenhouse effect that's going to make this inside feel warmer than it is outside of it. So I will come back here. And then the reason why I wanted to do it like this with the ridgepole is when I'm done today, I'm going to roll it up and then tie it off. And that's where it'll stay all summer until I'm ready for wintertime and I can drop it down. Probably tie it off right there in the middle too, but you know, by wintertime I'll have these pieces here to my shelter trimmed back, and that's going to give us a really, really nice, warm, toasty little place to hang out or sleep come wintertime. And especially when I get sidewalls in there, it's going to be a very, very nice winter setup. Alright guys, well, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so that reminds me, in a prolonged situation, you may, you're out in the great outdoors, Mother Nature may come calling. And I remember reading this in the Horace Kiphart book, so for when those moments come up, and you know you're going to be out here for a while, this is the method you should use. This is basically just a little trough that I dug out, and I think I went 5 spade lengths or widths of my shovel wide, and you do your business and cover up like I have demonstrated, and then you have this left when Mother Nature comes calling again. Then you just grab some dirt, cover it up. That was close. As I was saying guys, that's all I've got for you. Is that I wanted to do something a little bit bushcraft and put the sidewalls in, but Mother Nature has prevented me from doing that for like a good 2 months. And that kind of Mother Nature, not the Mother Nature I just showed you. But, you know, I'm still went with this idea because it still falls in the prolonged survival realm, I think. And it's something I've always wanted to do. I wanted to add better resources to my limited woods when it comes to soft woods, and thought, I can't be the only person in this situation, so might as well share my knowledge with why willows are a good option and why cottonwoods are a good option, and then show the best spot and how to plant them. So we did that, and then we covered the the perches for the birds, which also in a prolonged survival situation, you might need to procure food. That might be a good spot where birds, maybe a nice little plump dove's hanging out, and you get an easy shot. And then we covered this, the clear plastic to get that solar effect in winter. And then, you know, those unforeseen circumstances that come about. So that covers prolonged survival, I think. And this is the second episode. First episode covers a lot of great bushcraft ideas. Shawn from A Family Outdoors knocked it out of the park. I almost wanted to come out here and turn my camera on and say, no thank you, but you know, that's a joke. Shawn, you did a great job. And Shawn passed his video on to another Shawn. So now I'm going to pass my video on to another beard. Jason from Appymountaintrekkers. He is episode 3. And I know what his idea is. And it is a really good one. But I'm not telling. You're just going to have to tune in. So like I said, make sure you check him out. A week from today, I guess we'll say, because you're seeing this today. July 12th will be Jason from Appymountaintrekkers, and the other guys are going to teach you a lot of great stuff as well. This is going to be a great series. Stay tuned, and remember, YouTube land, this isn't called the Great Outdoors for no reason.